Alright YouTube, we're back with a video. So, I would like to give you guys a bit of a rundown on two graded cards that we have. And one is a 9. And this Charizard here is a 9. Now, I'm going to show you these because you know that I've been grading with AGS, right? Now, the question has came to me again after re-looking at these. I might actually break the internet, right? I might actually break the internet. I don't know if I will break the internet and people will start actually paying attention to what I'm saying or whatever, but I have sent 2 submissions into AGS, right? And we have cracked a bunch of slabs. So we cracked this. Anyone new finding the video, we will go over what we have been cracking. So I cracked this, which is an Alpha 10 from a company that started up in the UK. We cracked a Pikachu and a Baltic shirt, which was a 9. Might come back an 8. So we cracked a Reshiram and Zekrom GX from Cosmic Eclipse that we think is an 8. Might come back a 9.5. We got a Get Graded card, which is a 9, right? And we think that this is going to come back a 10. We cracked a Lucario card, which we believe is a 10 and is incorrectly graded by PSA. So we have a Elite Trainer box, 9.5. Some people from CGC said you can send this back to them and they'll upgrade the label to a 10. But why would you do that when you have to pay? And then we have a Salamence GX, which we graded a 9. And we think that this card is also a 10 and we were scammed out of the grade. So we have an AGS 10, an AGS 10. Let's just chuck you a bunch of slabs real quick. Right, so we've got two cards here that got AGS 10. This one got the Legendary 10. Right, and let's just do a rundown. If anyone new finds the video, we did a Takaru 10, Getting Your Zone grade 10, and we did a One Piece 10. So we did this for just purely historic purposes to find if we can find a debatable issue. Now, let's get into the point of the video. The Charizard is not a 9. Now, I say that the Charizard is not a 9, and you guys are probably thinking, is he going to break that? Is he going to break that? Well, okay. Let me show you something. Let me show you something first. So this is a Regigigas, and they gave this card a 9. And this is a first place card. I've had this for many years now. This is 5 cert. Okay. So, in the inspection of this card, you can see that there is a big protrusion of whitening on this one side. So this would potentially make this card a 9. Right? You would say, oh my god, it's got a bit of whitening on the corner. It is a 9. Okay. So this card was great. Was in 2016, and AGS has a 10-year policy. Anything printed between 2016 and below has a slight -1% on adjusting ratio when it comes to analysing the card, because more print defects happen during that time. So if you look at this corner, you will see that there is a white spot on this corner, right? Or if the camera focuses, it should do. Right, there's a white spot on this corner. The camera does not want to focus. Okay, so we have a white spot there. And on the bottom right corner, we have a white spot. And on this one, we have a bit of whitening here. And this one is a white spot. So this one has a white spot on all 4 corners. During to the age of the card, maybe this is why they was a bit lenient and gave this one a 9. In my eyes, this one probably is like an 8.5, I would say. So, you just seen a 9, yeah? And here you have a 9 Evolutions Charizard. I ended up buying 2 Evolutions booster boxes, and I pulled 2 Charizards from each one of them boxes. So, here is one of a Charizard card that was in this pack. Now, as you can see, on this back, there is no significant whitening, and really kind of like on this, that's on the edge if anything, and this side, you know, there's no specific whitening. Now as this card is kindly centered, the card on this is centered correctly right now. The front is also correctly centered, right? And there's no scratching within the hollow. You can see through the case, yeah? There's no scratching within this hollow of this card, right? Now, you guys may or not, you may or may not agree with the decision that if I decide to break this to see if AGS will get this a 10, and if AGS do manage to give this a 10 and I decide to break it and send it to them, then you guys will see. But I think I'm only going to do it if my decision on these two cards was correct. If my decision on these two cards were correct and these come back higher than expected, we are going to send that Charizard in, and we're doing this purely for research purposes. Because if you can crack a PSA slab and get a different result, then the result that PSA give you was not correct in the first place, meaning my decision to create them as a company to grade with is not viable, because you are basing your information on some random guy that is determining the value of your cards and doesn't even know how to value them. Because if you have an 8 come back a 9 and a 9 that comes back a 10, or that 8 comes back a 9.5, or let's say the 8 comes back an 8 and the 9 comes back a 10, then we know that the Charizard is in reason to be questioned. Did they give this card a 9 due to the 10 being expensive at the time? Now, if they gave the card a 10 and I only paid £8 to grade this card, so back in the day when I graded this card, I only paid £8, right? I didn't pay any more than £8. So I didn't send this on Express. I didn't pay extra money. I didn't say, hey, PSA, can you give me a 10 and I'll give you an extra $100, or, you know, a cut of the sale, let's say, for example. And I have seen worse base set PSA 10s than this this Evolution's Charizard. I have seen worse copies with whitening as a PSA 10 first edition Charizard with whitening. I've seen them as a grade 10. And I do not believe that the cards in 0.2, which are a grade 10 Charizard, are a 10. So maybe this is why I will end up cracking this card and will resubmit it to AGS. So that's the end of the video, right? Let me know your thoughts. Comment on the video. All my comments are on held, right? They're all on hold because I used to get attacked by a lot of people, and it was to minimize the spam of everyone commenting on my videos, calling me a fucking idiot and everything else, right? So I will approve comments, right? I do have some banned words within the fucking, typing in the comments. So if I don't see your comment or don't respond to your comment, this is the reason why that is, right? Because I have filters on there. So do you want me, right? Could be a community question. Do you want me to break this Charizard, yes or no, and send this to AGS? Comment on the video, yes or no, as these are just a couple things that I've got left laying around, right? And we'll see what happens, right? Because I don't believe this card is a 9. I really don't believe this is a 9. How is this a 9? This is not a 9. You got 10 centering, you got 10 surface, right? You got 10 surface, 10. The corners look good, right? The edges, we can't see. The centering on the front is, immaculate, right? The hollow is really, really good condition, right? Unless there's a tiny little pendant there. Did we see that little pendant? Is there a little pendant in the hollow? Maybe there's a pendant in the hollow. Yeah, maybe that is why they gave the card a 9. Maybe that is the reason why they gave the card a 9. But is that enough reason to give this card a 9? Because that might be why they gave it a 9. They might have just spotted it. Right, guys, anyway, thanks for watching my video. We will hold this there and see if the thumbnail catches this. But let's just say, for example, the Mewtwo had one of these from AGS, and AGS gave that card a 10 because everything else was flawless. So I still think decisions could be decisions. This card could still get the 10 because everything else is pristine, and this is just one defect within the 10. So it's not a strong 10. It could be, you know, a weak 10, but I think a 9 is punishing it. Thanks for watching the video. I'm not really bothered about the cost of the card. The cost of the card has no meaning to me. This is, you know, a piece that was... I won't sell it anyway. So thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time. Peace.